Hi, this is Jeannie from Trendy Tree, and today I'm going to make just a very simple flower arrangement. I have just some lime green flowers. The first one is a lime green hydrangea bush, and the number is 30334GN, and it sells for like $12.50. This is from Trendy Tree. If you're not familiar with Trendy Tree is my daughter Carrie's website, and she sells all sorts of wreath making supplies, crafting materials, silk flowers, wreath forms, mesh, and ribbons. So I'm going to use this vase that I already have, and it's just an old vase. And this next piece is a lime green ranunculus, and it's 35044GN, and it's only $4.75. And then I have just some plastic greenery, and the number on it is 13192GN, and it's $5.75. I really like using something as simple as this white vase, and like I say, this is it's a cheap vase. It's something that I picked up at like a discount, a place like Dirt Cheap or Big Lots or somewhere like that. But I love it because you can always, it's just so simple and plain. You can use it for simple arrangements or something more elaborate. Now, I am not an expert flower designer. Let me tell you that right up front. I just like to do small, simple things that are easy. I don't want anything that's very elaborate because, for one thing, I like to change things out. I like to have something in for a few weeks, and then I like to take it and, put up something else. So if you spend a lot of time and money making something, really extravagant and beautiful, I mean, that's great. But for me, that's something that I'm going to have to leave in place for a long time. So I tend to go with something easier and that I can change out. And I have used this vase for fresh flowers. In fact, that's what I used it for most of the time. But the other day, I had fresh flowers in it, and I bumped it against the counter and got a crack in it, so I can't do fresh flowers anymore, and I almost threw it away. And then I thought, well, what the heck? I'll stick some styrofoam in it and, keep using it till it falls apart. So I cut a piece of styrofoam, and you'll thank me, I went ahead and did that ahead of time because that makes such a racket. But I'm not going to use any hot glue. I don't have a floral pick machine here or anything. This arrangement is just something that I'm making for myself. So I'm just going to stick the picks down in the styrofoam, and because it's not going to be anything permanent. Now, if you were making something permanent for a customer, of course you would want to hot glue or use some kind of adhesive to put your styrofoam in your vase, and you would want to use hot glue or steel picks to secure your flowers. The first thing I'm going to do, and I know this may sound so basic, but when I first started trying to make a floral arrangement, I thought that you took this bush and you used it just like that. So my flower arranging would have been something like that. I may have tried to spread them out, and I would stick them in there, and that's what I would do. I did not know that things work a lot better if you go ahead and cut your pieces apart from your bush. Take some heavy-duty wire cutters. Now, we have a large cutter at the shop, but I'm working from home. But take a wire cutter and cut all your pieces apart and use them individually. That way you can get, bent in a different position and whatnot, but it'll just, and take your tags off. Be sure and get your tags off. That's something I always forget. But go ahead and just break your pieces apart. And we may not use all of these, but I'm going to go ahead and separate them. I could have done this beforehand, but I'm sorry. I want you to see what the bush looked like before I cut it. And I'm going to do the same thing with the greenery. Of course, the greenery is all plastic. It's just different, it's like some curly grass and then some spiky grass. I tell you, we moved recently. For you that don't know me, my husband and I retired, and we built a new house. It's like our retirement home, and we've been in it about a year now. But at our old house, we lived out in the country, and of course we had a pool in the backyard, and we had these ornamental grasses along the edge of the pool, and these things were like 5 feet tall. And they were my go-to grass. Anytime I did any kind of flower arranging in the house, I always grabbed a handful of that ornamental grass, and it reminds me of the spiky pieces, but it just added so much, to your arrangement. Even if you just had 3 or 4 blooms and stick in a handful of that grass, and it would just really add to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want my pot or my vase, it's probably going to sit on my dining table. So I want it to be pretty from all sides. So I'm going to start with the larger hydrangea bloom and just kind of start in the middle and just poke that down in there. And the height, that's going to be about right. When Carrie Fussett's at me about this all the time. When you have a floral arrangement on your dining table, it needs to either be thin enough or airy enough so people can see each other across, or you can look over it, or low enough where you can look over it. So what I usually wind up doing, or what she does, she'll come and she'll move my arrangement off the table. So I'm just gonna put some to the sides, and we will bend those down and let them kind of be in different angles. You sort of want your flowers to look a little bit like how they grow, in the yard. Now, I do have some lime hydrangeas in my yard, but they're not blooming yet. So for right now, I'm going to go with these polyester ones. Okay. This would probably be, the stems would probably go in there a little easier if I had a steel pick machine. And all that does, it's a machine, and you put your stem in the machine and you press this lever down, and it adds a sharp pointed tip to your flower. So next I'm going to start filling in with some of the lime green ranunculus, and this color theme would be like what you call a monochromatic. It's a one color, shades of one color. So the ranunculus is just a little bit shaded, a little bit different. And I'm just going to start filling some of those in. And they also have, some of the stems have, oh, there's another label I didn't get off. They have a little tiny bit of white on them. And right now I can see that my styrofoam is kind of spinning around, and I could, poke something down in there to secure that a little more. So see, it's just kind of twisting around like that, but that's okay. For my purposes, that's fine. Now, if I was making this to give someone, I would not want it to do that. Kind of bring some of those dark green leaves down toward the front so they kind of hang over the edge of your vase. I have a couple more, but I'm going to save them in case I need to fill in some holes. Okay, and now I'm going to take some of my grasses, pieces of grass, Tree. There's so many spring supplies coming in right now. All sorts of silk flowers and new ribbons. I think we counted one time and there's probably like over about 1,000 different styles of ribbon. So I mean, we've just got ribbon all over the place, just all kinds. And it won't be long before the fall and winter ribbons will start coming in. But you can just fill in, you know, as much as you want or as little. I mean, you don't have to use, you know, all the different pieces. You can just use part of it if you want to. And what I probably will do before I completely finish it, I'll probably take it to my dining room and set it on the table and look at it and see, you know, where I have any holes or anything before I use my last couple of pieces. Okay, so there it is. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, you want it to be pretty from all sides. And you know, if you wanted to, you could use a little ribbon. I'm not on this because, like I say, I like things just really kind of simple. So I'm happy with that, and I'll set that on my dining table, and that's it. I'll give you the link to the products that I use. We have lots of different hydrangeas, different kinds of ranunculus, just all sorts of greenery, and something like this is really easy to make. And the good thing about it is, you know, I can pop these out, change the flowers, you know, without too much trouble. And to keep my styrofoam from twisting and turning, I just tucked a little newspaper down in there. You can't see it, okay? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.